have a question. How have you kept your pants up this whole week without no belt, dude?
Okay. I will remember this.
Hello and welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA podcast. I am Matt Anderson. On the other side of your screen, we got Dorian Rose. I saw you Sunday, but how you doing this week, man? Let the people know.
Good, doing good. Just same old shit. Just a different day, really. Nothing really changed around here. Just mowed the grass earlier, doing some dad stuff. You know, kids. First day of school today. My oldest daughter, so dropped her off at school. So, she started second grade today, and it's just crazy because kids really like. There's nothing that ages you more in life than watching your kid grow, because you're like, holy smokes, like you're watching them grow through the phases. So yeah, I definitely feel as old as I look. So, but overall good.
Yeah, indeed, man. I was gonna come, have the video camera pulled up when I fucking showed up there. I was gonna be like, here to take the strap from the boy, but I was like, nah, let's just save it for the pod. So with that being said, let me give you guys a quick rundown on what to look forward to today's show. Firstly, we're going to go through this past weekend's fight card, Cheeto Vera versus Marlon Vera, that full card, our picks. We're going to let you guys know who the pick champ is this week. Nextly, we'll be talking about fight news for this week. Some few good fights announced over this past week. I just want to get Dorian's opinion, and we'll talk about them just a little bit. And then lastly, we'll be talking about this upcoming weekend's fight card, UFC 278, Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. It is not the best card in the world, but there's a lot of fights, so we got to have at least 5 of them so I can put this strap back on the line this week. Dora can have a chance to win it back. But with that being said, if you guys wouldn't mind before we get started, please put a thumbs up on the video. Greatly appreciate it. Subscribe if you are not. Comments are always appreciated down below. Let us know right now, what do you guys want to see as our final topic, like for next week, because there's no fights next weekend, so we don't really have a fucking second topic. So if you guys want to know anything about us or the channel and specifically, drop it down in the comments, and I'm sure we can make a segment out of it. But yeah, man. First topic of today's show, this past weekend's card, Cheeto versus Dom Cruz. I guess we'll start right there at the main event. I know this kind of said how I thought it was kind of going to go, but give me the rundown on how you think it went, man.
Well, I think just going into the fight, I was really excited because I thought the matchup style was going to be something that's interesting, watching it unfold. And Dominic Cruz with his unorthodox footwork, his unorthodox striking, just being able to see how, him being able to go up against Cheeto. Cheeto has that style where he's very plotty, going forward, he shells up, but he's actually going in there to take your head off. But he's a patient killer. And he went in there and dropped Cruz a couple of different times, especially in the first round. Looked like he dropped him with a jab. Cruz got up immediately. One thing I can give him credit for was that he was able to actually get straight up, and he was able to respond. I thought Dominic Cruz overall, I thought he looked really good. Coming off of the couple win streak that he was on with, it was Casey Kenny and Pedro Munoz, correct? Coming off the win streak against them, he had looked good in those fights. I know he got dropped in the Pedro fight, but he came back and was able to secure that fight. He was actually up 2-1 on the cards. And just that head movement, I think, it's just been years of him doing that same type of head movement. And I think, guys just having so much film on him now, being able to, understand how he gets around with his head movement, leaves his hands down, and likes to shoulder roll a lot of the shots. Cheeto was able to set him up with that head kick and was able to put his lights out. Felt really bad for Dominic Cruz, ended up breaking his nose and everything. So he was actually up on all 3 judges' scorecards too. So, but overall, it was a super fun fight. And Cheeto, that dude is he's an absolute savage.
Kind of crazy that, like, when you say that he was actually up on all the three scorecards, because I didn't think so. Like, how do you get dropped pretty much every fucking round and still win that round? But I guess it's the fucking judges, man. I personally thought every round, like the Cheeto fucking drop Dom, I thought he like won that round. I know, like, fucking round one, it was a lot of Dom like rushing, doing his thing, but man, if you go back and watch, I don't really think much of that hit Cheeto. Like, he was kind of dodging, getting out of the way, maybe 1-2 at the end, but that whole flurry, the majority of it missed, and the most damage in the fight was done by Cheeto. That's why I thought he was up anyway. But I actually thought this fight was going to look a lot like the Rob Font fight, and it did. That's pretty much how this fight went. But like, except for Cheeto ended up getting the finish later on in the fight, like I actually thought would happen. Sad that I didn't win any bets this weekend, man. But the outcome, you picked Tom Cruise to win that. I did pick Cheeto, so your boy is up 1-0 right now. Co-main event was Nate the Train taking on David Onama, and I'm gonna set this up because I see you already grinning. You're like, where's he going with this? And truly, this was the one that truly decided the belt for us, because Onama was a huge favorite, like over 3-1. Nate the Train, one of my fucking favorites. This guy, he's the most entertaining, or not, maybe not the most entertaining, but one of the most entertaining guys in the UFC. I love his personality, a fan favorite, a TV fighter, always down to bang, to throw down. He's coming in there to finish, or at least give you an entertaining as hell fight. Onama hit him with some early stuff, dude. Dropped him early. May have even put him out there. He put some coins on the tracks. He put some rocks on the tracks. He hit him with some hooks, but he did not derail Nate the Train. Nate the Train gets it done via decision at the end. I thought he probably could have finished a few times there in the third, but he is such an entertainer. He stood up, called him back to his feet, and almost got knocked out there at the end too. But Nate the Train, let's go Train, baby. Anything to add to that, man?
Man, I know James Krause had to be going crazy over there in the corner because the multiple times that Landwehr had the top position when he was on the ground, he had Onama in a crucifix, and Onama is absolutely gassed at this point because he's given everything he's had to finish Nate Landwehr, and Nate Landwehr has worn on him. And Nate Landwehr, to his credit to being an entertainer, he gets up and he tries to flex, but man, you just got to be careful with doing that stuff when you're trying to climb towards the top, dude, because that's a lot of damage you're going to end up taking unnecessarily. And I mean, he could have went in there and had like a Matt Schnell and Sumadarji type win if he really wanted to, and went in there and finished the guy, but he made it a little bit harder than he really needed to.
Entertained or not, though?
Yes, entertained, but at the same time, it was head scratching because I thought when he had him in the crucifix, I was like, oh yeah, I went just like that, and I said it's over, and then he just looks around and is like looking like badass Billy Gunn with the mullet and shit, like getting up, like trying to pump up the crowd. I'm like, dude, this is not the WWE. Get on him and finish his ass. So it was fun, but it was frustrating at the same time. So. I had a lot of mixed emotions.
I love Nate the Train Landwehr, baby. And he gets my second dub of the week. Dorian did pick David Onama there. So no matter what, your boy is already the pick champ for this week. Already up 2 out of the 3. But to close it on out, dude, our last pick different was Azamat versus Devin Clark. Azamat ends up getting another finish, dude. This dude is a serious problem. He's not too big at 205, but I believe he can make weight rather easily. Azamat does get it done there. And before we talk about that one, your boy did get the clean sweep this week in the famous words of D Rose, the clean sweep. If you want something golden this week, Dorian, you can have that golden broom, my guy, because you went 0-3, a big goose egg for the week. So you just
Boo.
sulk in that this week, man. 0-3 for your
Boo.
picks this week, and you had a huge favorite too. You had an almost 4-1 favorite, and you still went 0-3.
I still
Just
picked two
feels nice.
underdogs though. I
Feels
picked two
nice, baby.
underdogs though.
Feels nice. Feels nice. Yeah. But anyway, so that was your main and the co-main event. That Azamat versus the Devin Clark. That was one that was I believe the third fight of the main card, but one that we did skip over that I do want to talk about for just a second. Yasmin, I believe it's Horigi taking on Lasmin or Yasmin Lucendo, dude. The battle of the Yasmins, one Brazilian, one Mexican, dude. But both debut in the UFC, and I was kind of wondering like why, like what's with the placement on this card. Like this is the main card. After seeing the fight, dude, these two girls are definitely without a doubt the future of all of women's MMA, dude. They are so young, just throwing down, guns blazing. It's almost like they didn't even get tired of full 3 rounds of just swinging at each other's fucking faces. No one actually knocked down. Horigi ends up getting the third round decision, improving to 9-0. Anything from this fight, man? Takeaways, thoughts?
Yeah, I thought same as you as far as the placement. I was like, what's the reasoning for two young fighters that are 23 and 20 years old that are debuting in the UFC? Why are they on the main card? But when the fight ended up starting, I absolutely understood why that fight was on the main card because I mean, they ended up going in there and they just threw leather from start to end, really. And I mean, just for both of them to be as young as they are and to go in there and perform, on a pretty big card, they're in San Diego, Marlon Vera and Dominic Cruz, they're represented well in that area. So, there's going to be a lot of people showing up. And, there's going to be a spotlight underneath those fighters. And they ended up showing a lot of skill for them to be debuting in the UFC and definitely a lot of skill and definitely some names to be looking out for in the future for sure.
Indeed, man. Dude, it just surprised me about how it's like, um, Horigi just didn't get tired. She was just throwing the whole time, and it's like it's the end of the third round, and she's no different than the first round. Kind of blew my mind just a tad there. She's for sure someone to watch out for. Do you want to talk about the Devin Clark versus Azamat fight, or you just want to? I
Uh,
do want to throw out. I'm surprised that you haven't said something about this guy's body work, dude. Azamat has great body work, man.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. That yeah, his body work, the way he set that up, that finish, he threw in the southpaw, he threw the double jab just a step in the range, get Devin Clark's hands up, and just hit him right in the solar plexus to get him out of there. So it was a beautiful shot. I thought going into the fight, I know that Azamat has good wrestling as well because I guess he's well credentialed in sambo. But I thought Devin Clark was going to use a little bit more of his wrestling just because he's so much of the bigger guy. Just at least attempt a takedown because Devin Clark is a pretty decent wrestler. And he ended up turning into the kickboxing Devin Clark. And had I known he would have turned into a kickboxing match, I would have never picked Devin Clark to have won that fight because I would have told you that Azamat. He's a dangerous fighter. As Stefan Chukwi, he was up on the scorecard the whole time when him and Azamat fought, but Azamat got the late finish there in the third round. He's capable of getting a finish at any moment. He's got good endurance, good boxing, and he's definitely one as well to be looking out for at 205 because man, he seems like he makes the weight easy, but his cardio, he looked like he was still like breathing through his nose there in the third round. Like he's so patient. He's a patient killer, man, and he's definitely an exciting fighter to watch.
Improving to 12-0, dude. Devin's Clark dad just cracks me the fuck up every single time he fights. Get up, get up. He's like, hey man, I'm trying to get up over here. Thanks, pops. Thanks for the help. Like,
Dude, his
man,
dad gets fired up. It's hilarious to listen to him just like screaming with his raspy old dad voice in the corner.
always I could always pick it out, dude. Always. So moving on down, Ariane Lipski taking on Priscilla Cachoeira at women's bantamweight, dude. This ends a minute into the fucking first round. Fucking Priscilla just nukes Ariane, dude. What the hell happened there?
Dude, I was super surprised that Lipsky was willing to go in there and actually brawl with Priscilla because, I mean, we were saying going into the fight that Priscilla Cachoeira, she's got a heavy right hand, and she's definitely a brawler. She's not the most technical, but she's definitely got power, and she can push you out. One of the ways I was thinking that Lipsky was going to win was going to be by submission because I thought that she was going to be able to try to utilize her takedowns. That's one way Priscilla Cachoeira has lost a lot of her fights in the past, but Priscilla Cachoeira gave her no chance, landed that big bomb early with the right hand. Lipsky goes to scrap with her still and goes a brawl with her after she got her bell rung. Got her bell rung again and then just shelled up, and the fight just had to be stopped right there and then. And it was a great performance from Priscilla Cachoeira, and she started to put together a little win streak herself with a couple of finishes.
Indeed, indeed. And then to the main card opener, the one that really just took a dump all over pretty much everyone's parlays that did not bet for GM3, dude. Bruno Silva, GM3, dude. GM3 gets a third round sub. His name should be GM round 3 at this fucking point, dude. GM round 3 gets those round 3 subs damn near every fucking fight now, dude. If he wins by sub, it's pretty much in that third round, and it keeps fucking happening, dude. Shit all over my parlay, dude. How did Alex Pereira not even knock Bruno Silva down? But Gerald Mearshart clips him and almost puts his damn lights out, ends up getting the fucking, I don't want to say standing like fucking guillotine on him, but that sucker was in there locked in. He was not getting out of that. Their round 3 sub for GM3. Talk to me here. Anything to add? What happened?
Man, I thought the thing with Bruno Silva that looked a little funny going in was after the first round, he looked absolutely exhausted. And Gerald Mearshart as well, his cardio was tight. He was also breathing through his nose, there in the second round. And Bruno Silva is just, breathing super heavy, but he was throwing big shots and was missing a lot of them. So I'm thinking that had to contribute to some of his cardio issues. With him to swinging big and missing big like that. So it was I think he was chasing the finish too much because there were moments where GM3 would get backed up to the cage and he would kind of not turn his back to Bruno Silva, but basically and would turn around and would kind of run because he didn't want to get caught with a big shot. And I think Bruno Silva was getting frustrated. But I thought that knockdown, I thought, you were saying that how did Alex Pereira not knock him down? I thought Bruno Silva was just exhausted. I thought it was just a clean shot. They came off the clinch. Bruno Silva's hands were down, and honestly, GM3, he's not known for his hands, but that was a beautiful left hand that he had landed right off that break. Punched right through Bruno Silva's chin, sat him down. Went for the ground and pound, and Bruno Silva was with it to kind of grab his legs and kind of defend himself. But once GM3 got his arm under the neck, that's a wrap. You're exhausted like that, and he's got a hold of you. That's a wrap right there, man.
Indeed, indeed. So even though Dorian got punched in the face, knocked down, and almost choked unconscious this weekend, he's still here, made it to the podcast. Shout out our co-host Bruno Silva right over there. Dude, he even had the same facial hair as you this week. He had the goatee. I know you seen it this week. Like damn. Maybe a light-skinned D-Rose. That's Bruno Silva.
He had a little bit more he had a little bit more hair though. See, I don't have as much hair, but I seen a picture of him with like actual like hair. It almost looked like he had like implants or something like that.
What the hell?
It looked weird. Yeah, it looked super weird.
Yeah, well, hopefully he can get the dub. Sorry, Dorian, man, you didn't get it done this week, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put this up now. It's fucking falling off me. I just want to put it out there that your boy is the reigning and now defending pick champ of the week, Clean sweep, by the
Yeah,
way. 3-0. The Dorians 0-3. They'll have a chance to win it back this week.
yeah.
Yeah, but let's move on down to the prelim real quick. Angie Hill taking on Lupe Godinez. Dude, it was like, what was Lupe's fucking game plan, dude? It's like, were you not going to try to take down the worst wrestler in the entire division, dude? It's like she didn't even go for one takedown the entire fucking fight. Came out early, though, and put a molly whopping on Angela Hill, dude. I actually sent you like a message right after fucking round one. And I was like, give me Lupe versus Amanda Lamos right now. I want that fight. I do believe that could be a banger of a fight, but Angie Hill ends up getting the third round decision, dude. I don't even think it was a split decision. I believe it was unanimous. Maybe, I'm not sure. But third round decision. Angie Hill gets that dub, man. Talk to me.
I just thought that I thought that she was going to go in there and utilize a little bit more of her wrestling, and she was able to land the takedown early, but Angela Hill was able to get back up. I think she was 1 for 3 on her takedowns overall. Loopy was so. I thought that she was going to try to utilize a little bit more of her wrestling, but I mean, if you're going to try to go in there and take Angela Hill's head off, uh, she's been in there with the best, and she's been there and done that, man. So you're not going to be able to go in there and just take her out. She's one who's going in there and she's willing to dig deep. She's fought the Andrades and Claudia Gadelias, and she's fought the top of the division, and she's been in the game for a long time. So you're not going to be able to go in there and just get her out of there with a few big shots. And I thought that Lupe was trying to make too much of a statement by trying to go in there and try to put her out. You're not going to put away Angie Hill, man. And Angie Hill just overcame, and then I thought in the second and third round was able to steal enough of the momentum and was able to ride off with the win.
Just an interesting game plan from Lupe, and I don't know. I would just like to see some smarter choices from her, dude, because she is a problem for that 115-pound division. This was a catch weight. I don't really think it matters too much. It was at 120. Anything else on that fight, though, man?
No.
Okay, cool. Martin Budai taking on Lucas Brzeski, however you want to call it. They were saying Dretsky on the podcast. I'm like, in the fight, how does BR change to a D? I have no idea. But Martin Budai ends up getting the third round decision. Little controversy there. I had a bet for Budai, so I'm glad he won. Ended up losing it on the main card there, but anything from that fight?
Yeah, I just thought that that was actually a good display of athletic heavyweights. I thought Budai, he's a big dude, but I thought that he had good hands and displayed a good chin. And Brzeski, however you say it, I don't even know how you say it at this point. Looked like he could probably make 205 because he looked really small in there. Or I guess he just looked slim. He was about 236 or so. It looked like he probably could have made 205 because he looked pretty small for a heavyweight. Maybe try to size up a little bit fighting a bigger dude. But I thought it was a good fight overall, and I thought Budai won the fight. I thought he lost the first round, but I thought he won the second and third, and I thought he rightfully won the fight. So I thought the decision was fair.
Dude, if you haven't like seen the weigh-ins for that fight, dude, Budai's chest is like the biggest chest I've seen on anyone in the UFC. Like if you watch him like from like the side, his chest just comes out like a literal barrel. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like the biggest guy that's in the UFC. He's literally shaped like that. It's like that's just crazy to see. But moving on down, dude, one that we both did think was going to happen, correct? But in the end, she retires, dude. She is not fighting anymore. Nina Nunes defeats Cynthia Calvillo, then lays the gloves down at the end there, dude. I think that makes sense, dude. I really don't think her heart was truly in this, dude. Her wife's the champion. She's a mom. Like, what does she really have to do? Which was my point going into this fight. That it's like, bro, this shit could go either fucking way. I don't know how attached to the sport that she really is. She just wants to be a mom and she wants to coach now. Cynthia Calvillo, man, just not looking good. 9-5-1 now. Her like freaking record after uh, like coming like into the UFC, this like undefeated fucking prospect. Everyone's like, watch out for Cynthia Calvillo. The what's the word that I'm looking for? The downturn, the downfall, the just the other side of the
Yeah, the
hill.
downward spiral. Yeah.
Yeah, just of what had happened from Cynthia Calvillo. What happened here, man? Anything from that fight?
I just thought that Cynthia Calvillo. I just thought that, she kind of failed in what she's kind of been failing at in most of her recent fights, and not being able to utilize any takedowns. Her striking is just not really progressed to this point. As you said, I remember her coming in as the undefeated prospect as well, and she had good wrestling, good submissions. She had a couple rear naked chokes on a couple of different fighters coming when she first came into the UFC. So she had a lot of steam behind her. But she just never really seemed to kind of develop and progress as she got through the division. And she just ended up fighting more talented and tougher fighters when she got towards the top of the division. And I just thought she kind of topped out. I thought 125 was going to be a little bit of a stretch for her to compete at because she doesn't really look that big at 115. So fighting at 125, I thought her fighting chicks like Jakagian and Andrade and chicks like that was going to be a pretty big issue for her. And it was really kind of, falling on her. And I thought Nina Nunes, I thought she rightfully won the fight. And doesn't surprise me that she retired. I think she really just wanted to try to retire on a dub, really, more than anything. But I thought the fight played out just exactly how I thought it was going to. And yeah, congrats to Nina on a good career and way to ride off into the sunset with a dub.
Were you surprised by the split decision?
Uh I mean, it wasn't the most action, so I mean, I guess for the judges, they might have a different view. I thought Nina won clean, but when they said the 30-27 there at the end, I was like, oh yeah, Nina won the fight. So,
Yeah, indeed.
um, so yeah, once I heard the 3-0, I didn't think Cynthia won 3-0 on anybody's scorecard. So,
Yeah. Indeed, indeed. So moving on down, one that we did both. We called this one to a fucking T, man. Mowgli Benitez gets Charlie Altaveros out of there. Dude, you can't come from 185 down to 155 and expect to have any sort of lasting chin or durability, stamina, dude. You're way too big for that, man. Mowgli gets Charlie Altaveros out of there after some I would say it was like a rocky round one. Well, it ended in round one. It was about a rocky 2 minutes of just getting kicked on. But I actually watched the interview. He was like it didn't really hurt. I just didn't understand where they were coming from. Like they're coming from like odd places, like fast, and like he was like, I just didn't like know what to do at that point. But he ends up taking a bite out of Charlie Altaveros, getting him out of there. 3 minutes and 33 seconds there into round one. Talk to me. Took a bite out of him.
yeah, what's that?
I said he took a bite out of him.
Yeah, it took a bite out the Brussels sprout, dude. Yeah, because he absolutely pounded him. But I thought Ontiveros, he came out pretty fired up, dude. He was landing some big shots. He was landing some pretty big punches. But no, I thought you said it right. His strikes were coming from weird angles. His punches were coming from weird angles. But he was tagging Benitez there early in the round. But I thought it took him a little bit to kind of get his timing right. And I thought that or Ontiveros, it was there later in the fight. He was going to throw a check left, or I think it was a check left, or it was a check hook when he went to step in, and he ended up missing it. And Benitez baited him and threw that overhand left and just caught him clean. And Ontiveros ended up getting backed up, and credit to him, he was definitely going out on his sword. He was definitely out there to fight, but when he was mounted and he was throwing strikes up from his back when he's in mount, I'm like, okay, bro, you can call it now, because he's not even like trying to roll over or anything. Like, he's trying to throw a hammer fist when the guy's like in full mount on you. You're sitting here like doing this shit, like you're like trying to reach up for a ladder or something like that. And nah, ref, you got to come in and stop this, man. So, good stoppage and good turnaround for Benitez after, like you said, a pretty rough start.
I know this one broke your heart, man. Ode Osborne was going for that flying knee, and Tyson Nam had something waiting on him, man. What happened?
Man, and it was funny because DC and Bisping were kind of bickering on the broadcast all night. So I guess at that point in the fight, they were kind of going back and forth as to who they thought was winning the fight, and Bisping said he thinks that Nam's pressure is winning him the fight, and DC saying, oh well, Ode's landing more. Ode's obviously winning the fight, and as soon as he says that, Ode goes to throw a flying knee. And as soon as he lands, I mean, Tyson Nam couldn't have timed that right hand just any more perfect. Just absolutely cracked him right behind the ear, flatlined him, or not exactly flatlined him. He goes to roll back and get up. And that follow up shot, when he hit him with that one was the one that flatlined him. And it was super accurate. Ode Osborne was getting ready to get up, and as soon as he did, he just absolutely crushed him. Fun fight, and Ode is my guy, so I do like him, so I hated to see it. But Tyson Nam, he's definitely capable of putting on a pretty good highlight reel. He's got a couple of big knockouts like that now in the UFC, so that was definitely a good matchup, but hated to see Ode go out like that.
Yeah, got treated like I treat you on UFC 4 usually, dude. But let's move on down.
Oh, that's a damn lie. No, that's a damn lie. You can tell them how it was earlier with them rib roasters.
Moving on down, dude. Jason Witt taking on Josh Quinlan, dude. Josh Quinlan just pretty much crushes Jason Witt, dude. The weights were 175 and 179 for the 180 catch weight, dude. So this is the only time I've ever seen Josh Quinlan fight. So is he like a smaller guy, like fucking normally? Like, does he like fucking walk around like a 175 usually, or what?
Yeah, I believe he typically fights at I think he fought at 55 on the Contender Series, but I think for this one the fight was scheduled not too long ago, correct? And I think that he
Last
had
weekend.
the right, so I think he ended up
But it
having
was
the
at 170 last week, though, I believe.
or he might fight. It might have been at 170. I couldn't remember the exact weight class that he fought at, but I think they ended up fighting at the catch weight because where he had already had the weight cut from last week. But he ended up having the it was like a USADA suspension for Vegas, but California ended up passing it for him and ended up letting him fight. I guess similar to when John Jones ended up having the positive test against Alexander Gustafsson. They were able to switch it to California and make things happen. But yeah, Quinlan, he's definitely explosive. Like I said, I seen him on the Contender Series, but yeah, that left hook was absolute money, and for that follow up shot, he was getting ready to follow up, and that pullback, that's a lot of restraint for for him to be in the moment like that and be able to pull back, and that's good sportsmanship from him. And I think that he's going to be capable of putting on highlights in the future as well, man. He's definitely going to be exciting to watch.
Indeed. I just hope that this drug thing don't put a damper in his rise, if you will, because you know how it goes, man. Like, if you can't fight in like half the states, it's like, bro, we can't really have you in the UFC. But that being said, dude, that's all the fights for this weekend. I mean, from this past weekend. So don't forget, your boy is the pick champ. Clean sweep this week. I have to say it because it don't happen too often. 3-0. 3-0 against old D Rose over there.
Yeah. It doesn't happen often at all.
I have a question. How have you kept your pants up this whole week without no belt, dude?
Okay. I will remember this. I will remember this. You try to blow by when I get a dub. You try to skip past the whole thing. You're like, oh no. I'll remember this. Just remember.
Yeah, gonna wins. Like in the intro, he's already ready. He's already got the belt in the intro, just ready to show you
Because
guys.
I got to be ready because you could be like, in the next topic, and we got this fight coming up. I'm like, what? You don't even try to give me a chance.
Yeah. All right. So fight news, man. Fight news. Anything that you wanna talk about that you've seen before I get into it?
um, I'm trying to remember the one that I've actually seen recently. I know the only one that I had seen that really comes off the top of my head is Robbie Lawler and Santiago Ponzinibbio, and
Mhm.
the only thing I want to talk about is from Robbie's perspective, really, and it's just that coming out that Barbarina loss, man, I don't know if I really want to try to see him fight anymore. I don't know if he's just trying to fight out his contract at this point. Um, I don't know if he's got a goal in mind as far as finishing with a certain number of fights, or he wants to try to go out with a win. But Robbie's a legend, man, and I don't want to see him go out there and take any more damage. He's put on endless classic after classic when it comes to his fights. Definitely doesn't need to go out there and prove anything to anyone else. Former champion, future Hall of Famer, and man, I hope after this one, maybe he can. If he goes out there on a dub, it'd be awesome. But I definitely don't want to see him take any more damage.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. So let me just throw some at you, man. We have a fucking lot that I just now saw. We got Jack Hermanson taking on Derek Brunson. That is December 3rd. Did you know that was happening, man?
Derek Brunson versus I didn't hear the.
Jack Hermanson.
Oh, that's a good fight. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Jack Hermanson, I'm surprised, but I guess Jack Hermanson's got a little bit of steam coming off a win, so and one of the guys ranked in the top 10 as well.
Bro, I hate this fight for Gravely, dude. We got Gravely taking on Javid Bashar,
Yeah,
man. That's rough, dude. Jerry Cannonier taking on Sean Strickland October 15th. Armin Petrosian taking on AJ Dobson. I believe that is a newcomer on UFC 280. We've got Mana Martinez going to take on Brandon Davis on October 15th. Where did we I clicked off of it. Here we go. Don't know who those guys are. Let's go. Eric Anders taking on Kyle Dawkins December 3rd. Aaron Branchfield going to put an end to Molly McCann's little run that she has going on here on November 12th. That is in MSG. Am I right?
yes.
You're like, indeed.
Yes, for MSG, but I mean, for Blanchfield, yeah, she's definitely a horse. So that's going to be a tough fight for the Maverick, or I'm sorry, not the Maverick, Molly McCann. So
the meatball.
yes, yes, the meatball.
All right, Hani Barcelo is taking on Trevin 5-Star Jones. That is added to October 1st. Don't know who those guys are. Darian Weeks going to take it on Johan Lanus, dude. That'll be a rather interesting fight, dude, because like the dude like fucking Johan Lanus, dude, he was this massive dude that just looked like a killer, but he just gassed in his fucking first fight, I think, and he ended up getting finished against who is that? Jeremiah Wells, I believe that's who he fought. Am I right, or
Nah, I'm actually not familiar with the guy. You're
it's okay.
I'm not familiar.
Anyway, we got Trayshawn Gore taking on Josh Frem, dude. Josh Frem was looking pretty good against who did he fight last? He got crushed. Was it Fiallo?
Was it Fialio? Yeah, I think so.
Maybe, dude. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think it's Fialio because I think he had a little bit of a moment before Fialio put him out.
Yeah. We got your boy, dude, Max Griffin taking on the Dirty Bird, Tim Means, on October 29th.
Ooh, that's a good fight.
Yeah, we got Nathaniel Wood taking on Charles Air Jourdain on UFC Paris, September 3rd, dude. Couple weeks, man.
Wait, who is Charles Jourdain going against?
Nathaniel Wood.
Oh,
just now fought Charles Rosa, man. Yeah, good fight.
Damn, that's a good fight.
This is getting into the results from last night real quick. So let me get this. Ryan Spann taking on Dominic Reyes, dude. That's going to be a banger. November 12th. That's an MSG as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and for Reyes, I think that's a
It's a
good kind
it
of
like it's
comeback
a get
fight for
right
him.
fight. Yeah, like it's a get
Yeah,
right fight. Like he should not. If he loses the Ryan Spann, dude, it's done. It's done, bro. You like
yeah,
fucking John
yeah.
Jones
Well,
beat you up, and you know it just is what it is.
especially if Ryan Spann goes in there and just puts him out. Like if Ryan Spann goes in there and I mean, and Ryan Spann, he's definitely capable of putting guys away, but he's kind of first round Spanish, but he's definitely a first round type of guy. He's got all the energy then. But yeah, that's definitely a get right fight for Reyes for
Yeah.
sure.
And on October 22nd, bantamweight bout, we got Lena Landsberg taking on Carol Hosa. Dude, what are we doing? Christophe Giagos taking on Benoit Saint Denis, and that is going to be on Paris, UFC Paris, September 3rd. Dude, why is this a UFC fight? Mike Jackson, the reporter, taking on Pete Rodriguez, the
Your
guy,
boy.
dude. Who crushed Pete Rodriguez? Was it like fucking Semi the Jedi that just absolutely demolished him, or was it fucking someone else? Who did Pete Rodriguez fight in his very first fight in the UFC?
I was going to say, to be completely honest,
I
I'm not super familiar with Pete
I
Rodriguez either. I know
think
Mike
it
Jackson, the reporter guy.
I think it may have been Semi the Jedi that he fought first, dude, and just got absolutely demolished. So Pete
Yeah,
Rodriguez, he last fought. Oh no,
yeah,
he
no.
fought Jack Della Maddalena, dude. Jack Della crushed Pete
Oh
Rodriguez
yeah.
in his fight, dude. But still, dude, him versus Mike Jackson. Neither one of these people belong in the UFC. Why are they in the UFC, dude? What is this? That'd be like me
I'm really
versus you
surprised they keep.
on in the UFC. What is this?
Dude, I'm just super surprised that they keep giving Mike Jackson a chance. Like in his what the fight with was it CM Punk? He was doing like the bolo punches and stuff like that. One fight he ends up getting like a nut shot and end up like didn't the fight like go to like a no contest or dude got disqualified or something like that. So his fights have been lackluster. I have no idea why they keep giving him fights, but
Yeah,
beats
dude.
me, man.
I don't know. I don't know. We got Mike Trezano taking on Sung Woo Choi. That is October, or I mean, that is UFC 281, November 12th. That's the MSG card. We got Faraz ZM taking on Mikhail Fijlak. I don't know who that guy is. Going to be a UFC newcomer. That's the one that you said. Santiago taking on Robbie Lawler. Coming down to the end here, we got Orlando Venata is out, and now Andre Feely will now face Bill Algeo in September 17th. And up here we go, dude. Your guys returning. Hamdi Abdel Wahab is going to be taking on Parker Porter, UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi. That's your boy.
Hey, Hamdi,
That's
Hamdi
your
with the
boy.
Hans.
And the last one, dude, Misha Serkinov going to be taking on Alonzo Minifield October 15th, light heavyweight bout. That is the news and fight announcements for this week. Any other thing to add for the news, man, or any takeaways? Anything interest you out of all of those that I threw at you? Because there was a shit ton of them, dude.
Did you? I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't want to elaborate a little bit more on. Did you say Kevin Holland and Stephen
Oh,
Thompson?
I
I don't
didn't.
remember.
I didn't because I don't think it's official yet. Like it's not like announced. I don't think like all of these are like all of the ones that are like, they're actually like fucking signed. But Kevin Holland versus Wonder Boy is supposed to be taking place. Source is Kevin Holland, obviously. I guess we'll see if that shit actually happens or not. I hate to see Wonder Boy get crushed like that, but man, got to take Kevin Holland there. I just want to get one of your thoughts real quick before we move off of the news topic subject as a whole, dude. Shane Burgos, dude. Can I get your opinion on him going to PFL and Dana White saying that they fucked up, they dropped the ball, they shouldn't have let Hurricane Shane go?
Yeah, I had listened to his Tuesday Night Contender Series post conference, and I end up listening to those just about every week, and he ends up getting a little bit more information because I think those Tuesday Night Contender Series he's a little bit more excited, but he was saying that where they messed up was letting him test free agency because he said that. He even it was almost like a backhanded compliment to a certain extent because he said that he was like, is Shane Burgos going to be the champion? Probably not. And I'm like, well, damn, dude. But he kind of brought it back and was like, he's a super fun fighter. And he said he knows that he could put Shane Burgos on any card. And, he's got a big fan base. A lot of people like him. He's a fun fighter and he always goes out there and goes for it. And he doesn't seem to like have any animosity towards like any of the other promoters. I know a few years ago, he was really against Bellator and all of them, and Strike Force back in the day, wanting to buy them out and all that stuff. But he seemed to kind of congratulate Shane Burgos and the PFL. So seemed to be no hard feelings, but he seemed to definitely be taking it hard for for Dana White to publicly admit that they kind of dropped the ball. That's definitely something that you got to take into consideration that he might be serious about them dropping the ball because most of the situations he's like, oh, that guy wanted to do whatever, and he had to be big mafia boss badass. But no, in this case, he admitted that they ended up messing up and shouldn't have let a guy like that go. And Shane Burgos, congratulations to him, man, and having the chance to fight for that $1 million tournament. I mean, hell, I'd probably want to do the same thing as well. That's quick, easy money.
Indeed, indeed, man. Especially with, like when you're a hammer with a chin, dude. Like he's got a chin on him. Like you can like fucking knock him out, but it sure as fuck ain't easy. And he's gonna fight getting knocked out, even when he's knocked out. He's like, no, no. Okay, I'm knocked out. Just odd, man. Just
his,
odd.
his brain has to physically shut off in order for him to stop fighting because other than that, he will not stop fighting.
Indeed, indeed. So that's the news. That is everything for this week. Fight announcements, everything, all that good shit, dude. But what everyone wants to hear about, what Dorian cannot wait for this upcoming week. We are now 4 days away from Dorian getting another spanking. We got UFC 278, Kamaru Usman taking on Leon Edwards as the main event. The Glass Cannon Challenge, or at least for one side, Paulo Costa taking on Luke Rockhold. Jose Aldo going to be taking on Merab Dvalishvili. Probably number one contender for maybe the runner-up for after the O'Malley Yan fight, depending on how that one plays out. I don't know. That one could have title implications, if you ask me. Wu Yaonan taking on Lucy Paldova. I believe that's her name. The Samoan punching bag, Harry Hunsucker, going to be taking on Tyson Pedro, dude. Dude, I bet Harry Hunsucker hates Samoans, dude. I mean, he's gotta hate Samoans. One small takeaway, he is dropping down to 205. So how will Harry Hunsucker look at 205? Because he's only got crushed by Justin Tafa and Bam Bam Tuivasa, both at heavyweight, dude. So this is at 205. Maybe he might look just a little bit different, but Tyson Pedro, a fucking handful for anyone. Who the hell knows? So that is the main card. So going to the prelims, we got Marcin Tybura. For those of you who don't know, he's going to be taking on one of my favorite fighters at heavyweight, Alexander King Kong Romanov. A lot of people don't know Alexander Romanov, dude. Why is that? Like a lot of people have no idea who he is. He's fucking 16-0 at heavyweight, dude. Well, how are you unaware of this animal? Like he was like a minus 1,600 over Chase Sherman a few weeks ago, dude. How are you unaware of this guy? Can you explain? Well,
Yeah.
not you're unaware, but people are unaware. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I think the big thing for him, and I think for American fans, for the most part, him not being able to cross over being able to speak English, which nothing is wrong with it personally, but as far as him being able to cross over into the bigger spotlight, I think that's going to be a big thing for him. But right now, all he has to do is just keep putting in the work. He's still pretty early in his career in the UFC right now, so he's still putting together wins. I think he's ranked number 14 right now, so he's definitely on the rise. And putting him on a card like this with Kamaru Usman on there, putting him on the main card as well, I think this is kind of one of those display fights. Marcin Tybura is one of those veterans. He's been in the UFC for a long time. He's been able to put together a pretty decent win streak before that loss to Alexander Volkov. But he's definitely going out there and he's willing to go out there and fight with the best of them. And I think this is a good display for Alexander Romanov if he is to get a win in the fashion that he's been able to up to this point.
Dude, the odds for this fight surprised the fuck out of me. I'm tempted to make the biggest bet I've ever made, dude.
I'd seen like pretty decent odds, like minus 300 range, like minus 350.
Yeah, Alexander Romanov minus 350 plus 295. Chase Sherman. Alexander Romanov by finish minus 120. Alexander Romanov by knockout plus 150. Alexander Romanov by submission plus 330, dude. Am I missing something?
Yeah.
Am I missing something, dude? It's like that maybe the odds makers aren't aware, dude. Marcin's not a big guy. I feel like he's just going to get fucking thrown around and finished pretty quickly. He might get King Kong, but if you ask me, he's probably going to get subbed.
Man, so the only thing that is tough is that Tybor does have pretty good grappling, so I don't know if he's going to be able to fight off the submissions and then Romanov end up turning it maybe into some ground and pound. So I would maybe try to go with like a double chance just to keep it safe, do knockout or submission if you think he's going to get the finish. But yeah, going straight up on submission, it's always kind of tough with those guys because Romanov's definitely, as you said, willing to settle for the ground and pound as well.
Yeah. So before we talk about that one too much, let's run through the rest of the card. We got Leonardo Santos taking on Jared Gordon. Oh, one that I am a fan of, dude. Sean Woodson. For those of you who don't know, big as absolute shit for 145, dude. He's going to be taking on Luis Saldana, another one of my favorites, dude. I don't really know who to go for. I'm going to be siding with Sean Woodson probably just because he has an odd body type where he's all legs. He don't have a whole lot of torso and he rips to the body, dude. For those of you who don't know, he did finish Terrence McKinney on the Contender Series. So Sean Woodson, an absolute fucking handful. Going to be taking on Luis Saldana, as I said. The return of Miranda Maverick. She's going to be taking on Shayna Young, dude. And then early prelims, real quick, AJ Fletcher taking on Angelusa, Amir Albazi taking on the little brother of Figgy, Francisco Figueroa, Arichi Lang taking on Jay Perrin, Daniel Da Silva, and Victor Almaderno. I believe that is all for shit ton of fights, man. So we're going to pick 5 different ones, or at least hopefully pick 5 different ones, but we're going to start at the top. Kamaru versus Leon, man. Kamaru Usman, 20-1, taking on Leon Edwards, 19-3-1, no contest. One of those losses are to Kamaru Usman, dude. How you see this going, and who you got winning, man?
I think it's a very interesting matchup just because, the last time, of course, Leon Edwards lost was to Kamaru Usman. Since then, he's on a 10-fight unbeaten streak. Had the weird no contest against Bilal where he had the weird eye poke. But other than that, he's been able to put on good performances. Hadn't been able to put on the most absolute finishes, but has stayed consistent and won enough fights and earned himself back to this point in the title shot. I do think that he's definitely got a lot of tools. I think that Leon Edwards, I'm not going to say that he's going to be the favorite or anything, but he definitely has tools to beat Kamaru Usman. He's got good grappling. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got good striking. And when they face off against one another, Leon Edwards is actually he's not muscle mass wise bigger than Kamaru. Of course, Kamaru Usman is built like a freaking tank. But Leon Edwards ain't a small dude either. He kind of stands over Kamaru pretty good, and if he's able to manage the range, it can turn into an interesting fight. But I think for Kamaru, the biggest thing. He's got that ace in the pocket with the wrestling. And I think that he's even more confident in his striking now. So I think that Leon's going to be a little more prepared for the wrestling. But I don't think he's going to be as prepared for the striking because Kamaru Usman back in the day is definitely not the evolved striker that he is, as you see that he's been able to put on, the awesome highlights that he's been able to put on as of late. I do think that Kamaru Usman is going to be a little bit too much. I think Leon's going to be pretty tough to finish. I think that the only way that Usman will be able to finish him is maybe if he's able to kind of drag him into the deep waters late with the wrestling and maybe get some ground and pound. But other than that, I think that Usman does win. I think it might be a little bit more the old Usman style, maybe the one that fought Masvidal. Hopefully not as many foot stomps, but I think that Usman's probably going to go in there, make it kind of as easy as he can, and get the dub here.
The smart me says agree with Dorian right now because that's probably what's going to happen. But dude, I just had this gut feeling that it's like, bro, it's been so much build up to Kamaru Usman going to tie Anderson Silva, this, and this. It's like, bro, Leon Edwards is good. Like, he's only lost to him a long time ago. And it's like, Usman didn't have a lot of early success. Like, it almost was like later on in the fight. So it's like, bro, if Edwards has improved takedown defense, I swear Usman is in love with his striking now, dude. He's talking about going to box Canelo and shit, dude. If he tries to have a kickboxing match with Leon Edwards, dude, he's going to lose this fight. If he does not try to take Leon Edwards down, he's going to lose this fight. That being said, I'm going Leon Edwards by decision, man. I think Leon Edwards is going to do what he needs to do to stay away, keep him at range, pick him apart, just stuff a few takedowns if necessary. Bro, I swear, I have this feeling like Usman is going to try to box with Leon Edwards, dude. And it's going to be like, no, I know you're better. But Leon has a lot of years on you, man. I'm going Leon Edwards here. Surprising or no? I mean, I don't ever pick Usman to win, so it shouldn't surprise you too much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know you're not the biggest Kamaru fan. I know a lot of people are definitely kind of waiting at the edge of their seat to see if Leon Edwards can stop him from tying Anderson Silva's win streak. But I do think that Kamaru Usman, I think he's just a little bit more physically gifted. But I absolutely understand where you're coming from with the Leon pick because Leon is when he's able to put it all together, he's definitely a dangerous fighter. And if his takedown defense is improved, it could be a little bit dangerous for Usman if he turns into a kickboxing match. But the only thing, Leon can get hit a little bit, as Nate Diaz showed. So that's the only thing that worries me as well, is if Nate Diaz is able to hurt him like that with the power that Usman has been able to display, Usman might put him out as well. So got to be careful with that.
Like, the only thing that I would just, like, if I can say to that, though, is like, it was round 5, dude. Fucking Leon was already fucking breathing through his mouth and shit. He was rather tired when he did get hit by Nate. And, like, I mean, could it happen later on in the fight? Yeah, but Usman's also going to be tired at round 5, dude. Nate doesn't really get tired too often. So that being said, I just feel like, I don't know, man. One thing that I just do want to ask
man,
you, like,
Usman's got pretty good cardio, though. Yeah, Usman's got pretty good cardio.
But look at him in the Colby fights or in the first Jorge fight. It's like, I think, well, I want to ask you this real quick. When was the last time you saw Usman go for a takedown, dude?
In the second Masvidal fight. He went for one in the second. He got one I think it was like at the end of the first round. He ended up getting a takedown. So yeah, he ended up going for it then. He wasn't going to go for one against Colby because he knew that Colby was going to have pretty good takedown defense, and he wasn't going to wear himself out doing that, just like it was in the first fight. The only one who ended up shooting in that fight at all was Colby. Colby was the only one who shot in that fight. Usman, again, never went for a takedown in that fight, but I think it's because Colby's a good wrestler. It's going to be a little bit harder for him to hold him down. When Usman beat Leon back in the day, he was able to hold him down. So I think there's just a little bit difference as far as the fight style. And then Gilbert Burns as well. you're not going to take down Gilbert Burns because Gilbert Burns is going to take your arm. So
Yeah.
I think it came down to the stylistic matchups as far as the reason why he has been using as much takedowns.
Yeah. So in reality, Kamaru should win this fight, but I'm just telling you, man, if he's not shooting, dude, he's going to lose this fight. Can you see him outstriking Leon Edwards and winning a decision like he was fighting Gilbert or Jorge too, or fucking Colby? Can you see him like fucking winning a decision like that?
Well, when you say the Jorge 2 one, so he did, because that's what I'm saying. He used his wrestling in that fight, so he's able to use his striking to set up his wrestling, and vice versa. He was able to utilize both. And when Usman knocked out Masvidal, Masvidal thought he was going for the shoot, and he goes to step off and goes to throw the left hook, and Usman kind of dips almost for the takedown and throws that piston of a right hand. So Usman's just the evolution of his game to where he can mix up the grappling and mix up with the striking. And if the guy's going to be dangerous with the grappling, he's probably not going to grapple you, and he's confident enough in his hands now. But I think if he sees a path of victory with the wrestling, he's definitely a smart enough fighter to where I think he's going to take advantage.
Thanks for answering my question. Moving along to the next fight. Do you see Kamaru Usman winning this fight if he does not shoot a tape? Can he beat Leon Edwards in a kickboxing fight right now?
No, not in a kickboxing fight.
So
but
if he is not shooting on Edwards, he's not going to win the fight. You can at least agree with me, yeah.
Oh, duh. Yes,
okay,
because
fair.
Leon Edwards is a better kickboxer.
I've seen multiple
he
people say that they think that Kamaru is going to knock Leon Edwards out. And I'm like, bro, I don't know.
Because Leon Edwards gets hit. He gets hit,
really,
man.
Not really. Not a whole lot.
Dude, Gunnar Nelson ended up hitting him a couple times in that third round when they fought. Gunnar Nelson won the third round after Leon Edwards dropped him in the second round.
But that
Leon
was also
Edwards
a while ago too. This is this is getting back in the same the territory of when he fought
that's like 2019, so that's not that long ago.
I mean, fucking 17 was only 2 years away from fucking 2019, so I guess that's not that far away from the Usman fight then, yeah.
I thought it was like 2015, 2016, but still that was during Edwards' win streak. And what I'm saying is, even in all of his fights, regardless of what level he was at, he gets hit in his fights. Whether it was a Nate Diaz fight, whether it was a Cowboy Cerrone fight, or whether it was a Gunnar Nelson fight, he's been hit in his fights before. So I don't think it's crazy to think that Usman can knock him out. I just don't think Usman is going to go in there and just get into a kickboxing match with him. So yeah, if he gets into a kickboxing match with him, Leon will win, but I don't think that Usman's going to go in there and do that. He's not that stupid.
He has fell in love with the striking a whole lot, and him talking about boxing Canelo just fucking makes me be like, bro, you're a fucking idiot. All right, come in event, dude. Rockhold taking on Paulo Costa. I got Paulo Costa via left hook, man. How you see this going?
Man, that was quick. You know what? Actually, give me Nah, I don't know. I think Rockhold, man, just coming off the layoff. I think for him, it's going to be tough coming in. 3 years off? Last couple losses were all by knockout. We've seen what happened with Joanna when she came in off that time off. But man, Paulo, he I don't know. In that Vettori fight, he just didn't really. I picked Vettori to win that fight. I remember telling you I thought Vettori was going to win that fight, but for him, he got hit a lot against Vettori. I think the only thing with Luke, he just leaves his hands down, and then he just leaves his chin up and gets cracked every time. As long as he can improve on that, honestly, I do think he's a little bit more of the well-rounded fighter. So give me Luke Rockhold. Give me Luke Rockhold.
You think Luke takes him down and subs him, or you think he wins by decision? Because he ain't gonna knock out Paulo Costa. I mean, he could head kick him, I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was getting ready to say he's got some savage head kicks. So Yeah, I would not be surprised if he cracked Paulo Costa with a big head kick and was able to put him out. I do think that Luke Rockhold tries to get to the safest path to victory. I think he tries to take Paulo Costa down. It's not super easy, but I do think that he tries to stay at range, try to use a lot of body work with the body kicks, wrestle him a little bit because Paulo Costa's gas tank has been a little bit suspicious in the past.
Fair enough, dude. So our second different ones for so far, we've gone over 2 fights and we got 2 different ones. As I said, I don't think it's necessary to say anything else besides I think Paulo Costa is going to win via left hook. Like that's how Luke Rockhold has lost his like past 4 fights. So might as well just go ahead and fucking ride with the train. Paulo Costa via left hook. I just think he's going to overload him, just swarm him, do what Paulo Costa does. Like he doesn't have like the most one shot power, but he's gonna swarm Rockhold, and fucking Rockhold's gonna be like, oh shit, I can't take this. I'm gonna cradle up and I'm gonna give up. That's how I see this going. Jose Aldo taking on Marab, the machine, the Babayyy. I got Aldo here, man. If you get mollywopped by Marlon Moraes in round 1, dude, I know you came back and won. I do know that, but you were stumbling everywhere. I do believe that Jose Aldo can get you out of there. I'm not sure he will get him out of there, but I think Jose wins this probably by decision. But yeah, Jose, I'm going Jose here. How you going?
Yeah, we all know how dangerous first round Marlon can be whenever he's on. So I don't think that's anything as a slight to Marab. I think if anything, it's just a credit to him because he just withstood that storm. But I do think that, as far as his striking is a little bit behind. I think of course, his best weapon is his cardio and his takedowns. Think it's going to be really tough for him to take down Jose Aldo. I think Jose Aldo in this evolved stage, he's been working a lot of good body work, using his boxing, been a lot more patient. Don't think he's going to go in there and try to take Marab's head off. I think he's going to go in there, try to utilize his takedown defense and just utilize his boxing. And I think the same thing as you. I do think that Aldo, he should be able to ride to a decision win.
I guess one thing that just kind of makes me worried, dude, is like Jose Aldo isn't young anymore either. Like Jose Aldo is 35 now, like, and that's a old 30. That's not a young 35, dude. All those had some wars, dude, and also fighting at 135, dude. Like he's probably he has to be the oldest one in the division, yeah. At 35 for like for 135,
Well,
dude, there can't be.
Cruz, Frankie Edgar, um, he's 35. So what? Cruz is what, 37? I think Edgar's 30, but he's definitely one of the older ones. So I
Yeah.
get your point, but I
So
think he's
so
been
like
I don't think he's
well,
been knocked out as much though.
yeah, but Aldo was like for the longest, everyone's like, how is he only 29? He's been fighting for X amount of years. Like, you can't really say that anymore. I guess my question is, when is the age going to catch up, dude? Like, I'm not saying that it will be this fight, but the next person that he fights that, like has some power, dude, I wouldn't be the most surprised in the world if he did get finished. I don't think this one's it, though. I am going Aldo. Moving on down, Wu Yao Nan taking on Lucy Paldova. Don't know who Lucy Paldova is. That being said, I'm going Wu Yao Nan. What about you, man?
Same. Looks like Lucy Pudilova's making her debut and uh got a couple decisions on her record. Looks like she might be a pretty decent striker, but not too knowledgeable about her. Wu Yanan, she is tough, a little bit more proven. So yeah, I take Wu Yanan as well.
All right, here we go. Down to the main card opener. Tyson Pedro taking on the Samoan heavy bag Harry Hunsucker, dude. Yeah, smart me says go fucking Tyson Pedro, dude, but just looking at the stats real quick, man, they're going to be the same size, and that's kind of throwing me off because Harry Hunsucker's always a smaller guy at heavyweight. Tyson Pedro is always the bigger guy at light heavyweight. The fact that they're going to be the same height, of 4-inch reach for Tyson Pedro, dude. I'm not going to pick Harry Hunsucker, but I'm interested to see how he looks at 205, dude. And I might be eating my fucking words because the Samoan punching bag might grow a couple arms and hit the Samoan bag, dude. But I am rocking with the Samoan Tyson Pedro. I assume you are as well.
Yeah, and if you actually look through Harry Hunsucker's record, as I was just
He's never
doing,
gone out of the first
he's
round.
never been out of
Always,
the first
always
round.
first round, baby.
Never been out of the first round, and all his wins and all his losses has never made it out of the first round. That is absolutely crazy. But I do think that Tyson Pedro, I think he's just a little bit more well-rounded overall. Probably end up getting a first round finish, whether it be a submission or a knockout. But yeah, give me Tyson Pedro.
Well, that's really hard detective work over there, man. You're like probably be a first round finish, but that's just what I'm gonna get.
Yep, first round finish. Hey, I went with submission with the other one, so.
Hey, all right, man.
Decision. Sorry.
Moving on down to the prelims, dude. We got Alexander King Kong Romanov taking on Marcin Tybura. We kind of gave a little preview of this fight when we were fucking going through this. I am going Alexander Romanov here. I assume you are too.
Yeah, pretty easy. Whether it be by decision or I think maybe ground and pound, I think Romanov gets it done.
Indeed. Jared Gordon taking on Leonardo Santos. Dude, I'm gonna defer to you here. I don't like I know them. I've seen them fight, but it's like my care to watch them is rather low. I do know of them. I'm gonna let you pick first. I'm gonna let you go here, man.
Yeah, I mean they're both UFC.
But right before you go, I was leaned towards Santos. So if you pick fucking Santos, don't be like, oh, you just went because I fucking picked Santos.
Oh no! I was actually going to say that's actually perfect because I was getting ready to pick Jared Gordon because I do think that Jared Gordon, Leonardo Santos, he's been in the UFC for a long time, but he actually had like a little bit of a break there. I think right before like 2020, I think he had like a bunch of injuries. I think he was off from like 2014 or 2015 all the way to 2020 with a bunch of injuries, but came back and put on a couple of fun fights. And he's a lot older now. And I think Jared Gordon, another UFC vet, he's been in the game for a long time.
What? 42 versus 33, bro? We're not picking on this fucking fight. This is not included in one of the fights, dude. Like, I'm not picking on this fight, bro.
No.
We got
Why'd
two
you
more on
look?
we got two more on the prelims and the whole early prelims still. So we can get at least one more out of this. I'd like to get three more, but we can get at least one more out of these.
Yeah. But yeah, give me Jared. Jared Gordon's going to basically wrestle for most of the fight.
Who am I thinking about? Who's the dude that like hit the dude with like multiple, like he keeps getting like the spinning like fucking back elbows? Who's that guy?
Davi Ramos.
Am I thinking? Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Or no, Ricardo Ramos.
There we go. This is Leonardo Santos. Bro, these Brazilians, they confuse the fuck out of me. All their names look the same. They sound the same, dude. It's so rough for me. Moving on down, Sean Woodson taking on Luis Saldana. Dude, this one could be fight of the night if you ask me. I gotta rock with Sean Woodson. He just has the cleaner boxing out of the two, but Luis Saldana, you can tell he is inspired by Yair, dude. Got crazy kicks, fast hands, good movement all around. 16-7 for Luis Saldana. Going to be taking on 9-1 Sean Woodson. I don't know who Sean Woodson lost to, but I am rocking with Sean Woodson.
Yeah, give me Sean Woodson as well. I think the same thing. His boxing super clean. I think that he might be able to smother Saldana. Saldana is an explosive fighter, but I do think that Sean Woodson, he's definitely a big featherweight. Got good range. I think he's able to control the range and able to probably end up getting a decision. Potentially a knockout, but I think he ends up getting a decision.
Fair enough. We got the return of Miranda Maverick going up against Shayna Young, dude. This is one that I think the last time I seen Shayna Young, she impressed me with her wrestling, maybe. So, that being said, dude, I want to pick Miranda Maverick just because I'm a fan, but bro, I don't really know which side to rock here. Who you going?
I see. I was kind of doing the same thing. I was going back and forth a little bit. I do think that Miranda Maverick, um, was she able to come back and get a win after that Aaron Blanchfield?
I think I think
After
she
the Aaron
lost
Blanchfield win.
again. I think wait, she
No, she got the Sabina
she
Mazo.
beat
Yeah,
she beat Sabina Mazo.
yeah,
But I
she
mean,
got the
to be
Sabina. Yeah,
fair,
so that's what I was going.
let's be good. How good is Sabina Mazo though?
Yes, yes, no, true, but I think more saying it just to try to get a gauge and see where she's at as far as being on a win streak, having some momentum and stuff like that. And you can say in that Macy Barber fight, she did get the loss in that fight, but a lot of people thought that she won.
I thought
I
she
do
won
think that
that.
she's super. Yeah, I think she's super tough. She is a big fighter. She's coming down from 135. But is Shayna Young. She beat Gina Mazzani as well. So it seems like everybody's just having their turn with her. But no, I do think that Maverick. I think she's a little bit more UFC experience, and I think that she's gonna be a little bit more stout in the wrestling. And give me the Maverick here.
I guess what just kind of throws me off is Shayna Young is 5'6" and like fucking Maverick's 5'2". So I guess that's kind of throwing me off just a tad. Dude, I'm gonna go Shayna Young here just to have a fucking different one to get our third one for sure, and pick against a fighter that I'm truly a fan
One
of,
of
just
your
because
favorites.
I know, dude, but it just something tells me it's like, bro, I don't know, something's up here. Moving on down to the early prelims, AJ Fletcher taking on Angelusa, dude. I don't really care who wins. I don't really know a ton about either one of these fighters. You want to break it down?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super familiar. I think AJ Fletcher came from I
From the
believe he came
contender
from the
series.
contender series.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came from the contender series as well, but that's just about as much as I can tell you. I mean, I choose AJ Fletcher, but um, don't know him for more than the contender series.
Fair enough. I'll go Angelusa. He has a cool name. Amir Albazi taking on little brother of Davidson. We got Francisco Figueroa. Um, Amir Albazi 14-1. Francisco 13-4. Dude, who you got here?
Uh, Yeah, I was going back and forth with this a little bit. Amir, he's a huge favorite going into this fight too, which really surprised me. But Little Figgy, as they like to call him, he's definitely been an underdog in a couple of his fights and has been able to come away with the dub. He's not the exact fighter that Davison is, but he does have similar to that style. Give me Francisco here.
All right, I gotta go Amir Albazi. Um, so Arichi Lang taking on Jay Perrin, dude. Arichi Lang 22-9 against 10-5. Jay Perrin. Arichi Lang should get the dub here. He is he's usually a big, and I'm thinking about a different guy. Yeah, I'm going Arichi Lang. What about you?
Yeah, Richie Lang's a savage. Yeah, I'm going to Richie Lang.
All right, Victor Altamirano, dude. Okay, versus Daniel De Silva, dude. We are going to have a banger to open up the fucking early prelims as a flyweight, dude. Daniel De Silva taking on Victor um Altamirano, dude. I keep fucking this up. All Altamirano, fuck, dude.
There you go. Nailed it. But yeah, as far as
Victor
the two, yeah, there you go. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super familiar with
Altamirano.
either of
There
these
we
two
go.
fighters either.
Altamirano. Victor Altamirano.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not super familiar with either of the fighters either. Actually,
Daniel De Silva is pretty good, dude. I know you've seen him. He's had green hair a few times.
Yeah, Daniel Silva. Okay, yeah, he actually lost to Francisco Figueiredo. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I might remember that. So, because that was earlier this year as well.
Got
So,
subbed. Yep.
yeah, I remember that. So, but yeah, other than that, not really too hip. Give me Victor.
All right, I'm going Daniel here. I don't even know how many we got different, dude. All right, so let's see. We got that one
Feel like
different.
five.
All right, so let's see. We got that one different. We got Arichi Lang's the same. We got Amir Albazi versus Francisco. We got that one different. The AJ Fletcher versus Angelusa, dude. Are we gonna count that? Yeah, sure. Let's fucking count that one. I go Angelusa. You're going AJ Fletcher, so it's 3. Um, I
You
believe.
picked Shane Young. I picked the Maverick.
Yeah, that's.
And then
Oh,
you picked
okay. Well,
Amir, and I
how
picked
about
Francisco.
let's throw the Maverick one off because I really don't want to go against there because we got 3 on the early prelims and 2 on the main card, so that's 5 all together. You want to go for that?
Wait, which? So
We got the main, we got the co-main, and then we got Angelusa, AJ Fletcher, Amir Albazi versus Little Figgy, and the fucking first fight of the night. That's all 5.
okay, yeah, yeah,
It'll
we could
work
do
for you.
that then.
That way, I don't have to pick against Miranda Maverick because I am going to be rooting for
Uh,
her. But just, dude, I don't know. She just, as a smaller girl, I feel like she might, I don't know, just something sketchy about that fight. If a fight falls off, we'll throw that one in there, unless that one falls off, and then well, obviously that one throw that one in there.
nope,
But
yep, for sure.
that's all for this week, guys. I feel like it was a short podcast until we started getting into that, and then I was like, all right, let's get this shit over with. I feel like we've been talking forever at this point. Anything before we get out of here, man?
Nah, man, I think we pretty much wrapped it up, and yeah, I think pay-per-view's kind of lacking, so don't really like that too much. Those are the ones that we can bitch about, but let's see how it plays out, and then I'll kind of say my piece afterwards.
Indeed, indeed, man. I wish this card this weekend was free, but it's not. But what is free is the ass beat that Dorian's going to get this weekend. Continue to walk around pantless all week. I'll see you next Wednesday, man, for a chance for you to win this bad boy back. Hopefully you can get your picks in order, get back on the winning track. You did have for a couple weeks, but Nate the Train just showed out, and I didn't even beat you a little bit. I came back with a vengeance, swept you, cleaned you up, ate you out of the house
So,
and home.
you still going on about this, huh?
Still going
So,
on
you,
about
so,
it. I
so
don't know
you
what
still
else to
going on
say.
about it?
Anything before we get out of here, man?
Nah, man, we good to go. I got some Chick-fil-A
All right,
to
man.
pick up.
All right, man. We'll catch y'all next week. Remember, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good shit. Remember, put a comment down below. What do y'all want as a second topic for next week? Even if y'all want a second topic. If not, we'll just have to come up with some other shit, or I'll show video to Dorian or some random shit like that. But that's all from us here this time. Matt Anderson, Dorian Rose. This is the Golden Octagon MMA podcast every Wednesday. We'll see y'all. Catch y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.